Well, good morning. How are you? I need a coffee in my hand, actually. I was like, I could really go for a coffee right now as I'm popping on. How are you doing? Happy Thursday. All right, today I want to talk about something here because, I always talk about getting off the diet treadmill. And what does that even mean, right? What is diet? We all know that diets don't work. However, I would love to know if you follow any of your own diet rules, any food rules, any food rules. And I made a list here, my top 10, and I would love to know if any of these are on your food rules that you follow. Counting carbs in grams or in whatever weight that you prefer. Safe foods, things like low fat, low carb, low calorie foods. Or maybe you follow rules like eating certain times of the day. I eat breakfast at X time. I wait till Y time for lunch. Hi there. How are you? And if you have any questions, let me know. I'd love to answer them for you. Let me know who you are because I'm actually streaming in from StreamYard and I can't see who you are that's out there saying hello. Okay, so where was I? Eating certain times of the day. I don't eat past 8 p.m., stuff like that, right? Or paying penance for eating bad food. So you're skipping meals because you overate or you ate too much chips or you had French fries and hamburgers earlier on. So you decide not to eat because of it, right? Vowing to be good tomorrow. Oh, I ate so bad on the weekend. Monday I'm going to be really good. Any of those sound familiar at all? Okay, cutting back on food, conscious under eating, right? Okay, I'm gonna eat less tomorrow, even though I'm hungry still. I'm gonna eat half as much food. Okay, so pacifying hunger by drinking coffee and diet sodas because they are a good deterrent for eating foods. They are, what do you call them? They're appetite suppressants, right? Coffee and diet sodas are good appetite suppressants. Limiting carbs. I'm going to eat less carbs. I hear it all the time. I don't eat past 7 p.m. There you go. Exactly. Okay. Putting on a false face in public. In other words, eating really good when you're out with your friends and out in public versus what you eat at home. I do know a lot of women that do that as well. Or another one would be second guessing or judging what you deserve to eat. Okay. Based on what you ate earlier. That was number 9. And number 10 is becoming vegetarian, gluten-free, veganism for the sake of weight loss. Do any of those? Yeah, if you've got food rules, let me know what they are. Maybe I missed a couple. Those are my top 10 that I could think of. And here's the thing, even though you might not be consciously dieting, you probably are unconsciously dieting by having these types of food rules. And that basically means the same thing. It just means you're consciously or unconsciously dieting. And it basically translates into diet culture behavior, right? So that means the desire to be thin, which means you are either consciously or unconsciously dieting. So you're restricting foods. And then what ends up happening is when you put restrictions on your eating, what ends up happening is the cravings become more intense. Have you ever realized that's like, okay, I'm going to cut out carbs, and next thing all you can think about is carbohydrates, right? Well, that's the reason. Okay, is the more you tell yourself you're not allowed to eat something, the more you're going to want it. You're actually going against human nature. When you think about, I've talked about this before. When you think of small children, if you say, "Son, don't touch that," next they're like staring at you as trying to touch what you tell them not to touch, right? So you're going against human nature when you put these types of food restrictions on, and it increases your cravings. And then you lose control. So then you lose control, then you feel bad, then you feel guilty, then you're punishing yourself, and then the whole cycle happens all over again. So it's really important to recognize that even though that you're not you're dieting consciously, that you might be dieting unconsciously by having these types of food rules. I hear them all day long. Yeah, so guilt, shame around food, and really ultimately creating an unhealthy relationship with your body and with food. Okay, so what do? Well, there's a couple things you can do. One is acknowledge these diet rules, acknowledge that dieting is harmful to you emotionally and psychologically. And we all know that. So I would love for you to write down all the food rules that you follow and look at them. And look at them and see how you feel. It's like, okay, this is restricting, and have a better understanding of what it is. Because sometimes when you see it on paper, it has a more impact than just day to day moving around. It just becomes a habit. And it's really important to break the cycle of your habits by doing something completely different. And even writing things down on a piece of paper can make a huge difference. And what you can do with that, not eating pasta, is that a good thing or a bad thing? Well, it depends. Are you hungry? If you're hungry after 7 o'clock, then it's a bad thing. How do you know that you're not going to be hungry after 7 o'clock? Right? Every day might not be the same. So you have to go by how you feel. If you're full and you don't want to eat, that's one thing. But if you're full, or if you're hungry and it's 7 o'clock and you choose not to eat, that is probably not a good thing. Okay? Because that's restricting calories. And, so that's, you have to go by how you feel versus by time. And if you want food and you want food, but you don't want to eat it and you're not hungry, that's emotional eating. That's a whole nother topic that I've covered before, and I'm happy to cover it again on another day. So it's really about going by how you feel. Are you hungry? Then you should eat. If you're not hungry, then you shouldn't eat. It's really just that simple. We tend to overcomplicate weight loss. Why do we overcomplicate weight loss? Is because there's so much information out there, and there's so much information out there pertaining to, particularly in the diet culture. You've heard me say this before. The diet culture is worth, like in the States, it's worth $70 billion. And in Canada, where a tenth of the population is worth $7 billion. So it's about the same ratio, same amount of dollars per capita. And that's what's driving us. That's driving our behavior. So the diet culture saying something, and then women or people grasp onto these ideas and thinking that's right, when we really should be asking ourselves, like, well, should I be eating? Am I hungry? What should I be eating? What do I feel like eating, and what is good for me, versus what the diet culture says? Because you know what? If I don't like broccoli and I say, you know what, you should be eating 3 cups of broccoli every day. Well, if you don't like broccoli, well, guess what? You're probably not going to eat it. You're going to be like, I hate broccoli. So instead of like searching for answers outside of you, it's important to look for these answers inside meaning yourself. Because when I ask women what they think about, what's causing their weight gain or their struggles with their weight loss, 99.99% of the time, women know what the reasons are. The question is not the reason. The question is, why aren't you doing it? That's the question. That's the bigger question. It has nothing to do with food. It has very little to do with food. It has more to do with what you're feeling. Okay, so I kind of went off topic there, but thanks for the question. If you have another one, let me know. Okay, so what do? So write a list of all your food rules and start taking them off one by one, meaning start ditching them. Okay, so if you're someone that stops eating at 7 p.m., you're going to go, okay, you know what? If I'm hungry after 7 p.m., I'm going to have myself a little snack. Okay, and you do that continually until you finally overcome the idea of eating past 7 o'clock or not eating past 7 o'clock. Okay. And then once you've overcome that first food rule, then you move on to the second one. Then you move on to the third one, and you overcome these diet culture food rules that's really driving your habits and driving the need to be thin and the need to follow these unrealistic diet rules. And the thing about, so how do you lose weight? Well, very simple. When you actually overcome all the emotional eating and all the food rules, and you rely on yourself to know when to eat and to stop when you're full, you automatically come down to your ideal body weight, believe it or not. Because the reason why women are gaining weight is because they're eating when they're not hungry. That's the cause of the weight gain. It's not the food itself. So if you're struggling with food or if you're struggling with your weight, it's not the food. It's what precedes you leading to the food that's causing the weight gain. So questions relating to food like, should I eat past 7 p.m.? How many grams of carbohydrates should I eat? What is too much? Should I be eating, drinking diet colas? Should I be doing this to lose weight? Should I be doing that? Should I cut out carbs? Should I be on a fast? No, you don't have to do any of those things. Because the reason why we're gaining weight is women are eating when they are not hungry. So the question isn't about all those things that I just mentioned. You've got to answer, why am I eating when I'm not hungry? And when you can answer those questions and overcome them, you will automatically get down to your ideal body weight, because then you're hungry, you eat what you want, you stop when you're full, and it's done. There's no guilt, there's no shame, there's no punishing, there's no, oh, I ate so bad, I'm gonna not eat my meals the next day, and so on, right? So it's really, oh, you're welcome. Okay, so that's one. So overcoming these food rules. Number two, part of these food rules is the other one is getting rid of all your diet tools. Things like apps, calorie counters in the sense of how many calories I've consumed for the day, calorie counter apps, also how many calories I burn for the day during my exercise. They go both ways. Getting rid of diet or getting rid of the scale, putting it away, stick it in your closet and just forget about it. And focus on how you feel in your body. Do I feel good today? Does this avocado, if I eat this avocado, am I gonna feel good after? Yeah, probably. If I eat this whole entire bag of chips, am I gonna feel good after? Probably not. If I have a handful of chips, am I gonna feel good? Yeah, I'm still probably gonna feel pretty good, right? Okay, so that's what I mean. So getting rid of your diet apps, your calorie counters, measuring tape, if anybody out there still measures. I haven't come across anybody that measures in a while. Points, a lot of these apps have points. Some of the stuff that's going out there, like meal plans, they have points. Counting points is a big one. Counting calories, I already said that. And as well, getting rid of your diet foods that you have in the house. Low cal this, low fat that, low carb this. Okay, if you're not celiac, then you should be eating gluten. And you should be we should all be eating carbohydrates. And the thing about carbohydrates is that, us women, us aging beauties, we need carbohydrates for hormonal balance. Not only just hormonal balance, but day-to-day energy. It's a macronutrient. The reason why it's a macronutrient is because our body needs it. And if anybody's telling you otherwise, that's because they're promoting weight loss. Okay. And the only people that shouldn't be eating, what's the word? What's the word I'm thinking of? Gluten, are people that are celiac should not be eating gluten. Everybody else, if you don't have a problem with gluten, you should be eating gluten. You should be eating carbs. You should be eating protein. What's more importantly is you should be eating your vegetables. All right. So let me know if you have any other questions, and I'm more than happy to answer them for you. If you're watching this on the replay, please type in replay for me. Oh, by the way, we have an upcoming event that's happening at the beginning of April. The Love Your Body Week. And what that is comprised of is a 5-day Fuel Your Body cleanse. And the reason why it's called the Fuel Your Body cleanse is because you're actually eating foods. Yes. And believe it or not, when you do the cleanse that I host, you're actually going to be eating more food. Believe it, and you're going to feel amazing. So it's a 5-day Fuel Your Body cleanse. It's all about nourishing your body, providing it with lots of nutrients so you feel really good. So if you're someone who's suffering from low energy, brain fog, feeling heavy in your body, puffy eyes, anything like that, stomach issues, definitely come. You're going to feel really good in 5 days. And also, I've got a 1-day Love Your Body Forever workshop where I share 3 simple tools to help you to love your body again, because 91% of women don't like their bodies. And it's true. When you think about the circle of people that were surrounded by women, they come in, women that hate their bodies come in all shapes and sizes. And that just goes to show you that loving your body has nothing to do with your weight, your size, your age, or there was one more, I can't remember, but has nothing to do with it. And it's really important to love your body when it comes to weight loss, because when you love your body, you want to pay attention to it. You're like, oh, what am I feeling? Oh, I really want to feel good today. So I'm going to eat X, Y, and Z because that makes me feel good in my body, versus eating maybe perhaps an entire bag of chips that I have here, because I do love chips. I always have them around in my house. So that's what the week is comprised of. And I urge you to come because you will feel amazing in just 5 days. A good kickstart for the spring and summer season. For the warm weather, we're going to be wearing short sleeve shorts and our bathing suits. I want you to feel good for the summer. All right, so let me know if you have any other questions. I'm more than happy to answer them for you. Okay, have yourselves a great day. Bye for now.